Before we get started today, I wanted to invite you to support the podcast by liking, sharing, and leaving a review. I also really want to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment or a topic you'd like for us to cover, please send it my way. I'm all ears. Your input really helps to shape the show, so please sound off in the comments, or if you'd like to reach me directly, I will leave my email address in the show notes. Do not hesitate to get in touch. I am your host, Chelsea Carolyn, and today we are diving into sustainable fitness with Evelyn Harper. I actually want to stick with these 5 elements that you've brought up because it's a great framework to follow even in just the podcast, because that
Yeah.
is the framework that you would follow if you were trying to kind of cultivate this healthy lifestyle. So sleep, tips for sleep. I mean, I feel like it's a situation where we all know them, but do we do them? It's the no phone after a certain time. And you kind of touched on, is there like a wind down routine that you recommend?
Yes, absolutely. Because think of everything that happens during the day. From the second you wake up, your mind is going.
Mm,
Whether you look at your phone, whether you're just thinking of all the things that you need to get done, you have this pit inside of your chest of like go 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 go, which is a good pit. Like that's where some people are like, I'm so anxious all the time. Like I have all this anxiety, and then you go to the doctor and they're like, here's a pill.
hmm.
Versus sitting there and listening to the anxiety, and then what's at the top? What do you keep coming back to? Like, that's the stuff you need to address. Like, yes, there's going to be 1,000 other things below it, but there's going to be a trend of something that keeps coming to the top. That's your top
Okay.
of mind stressor that you got to focus on. And then, so from that first like 30 minutes that you wake up, that's what's going on. And then you tackle on like whether you have kids or whether you go work out or go to the your work or whatever you do in that first, then that next chunk work, that stressors, that's a whole nother level of stressors. Not only
Hmm.
are you focusing on tasks, but let's say you work with a lot of people. Now you're dealing with all these interactions and boom, boom, boom. There is so much, and like the day continues. So there is so much. My point is that there is so much that goes on during the day. So then at the end of the day, let's say you just had all these interactions, worked a full day, XYZ. At the end of the day, now it's your time for your mind to kind of process all of that, which is
Okay.
where people get so uncomfortable. And then they end up scrolling till wee
Hmm.
hours of the night, watching TV, eating. That's where a lot
Yeah.
of people you'll find. I mean, and I'll speak for myself. The sun goes down and like my day is kind of wrapping up and I'm getting tired. Your body wants that quick energy. That's where I'm like, okay, grazing. Like, I'll take a little of that, little of that. Next thing I know, I'm like, great. Now I'm miserable. I'm full. Like, I should have just gone upstairs, started my evening routine, allowed myself to start processing and thinking through some of this stuff, and then gotten in bed by 8 o'clock. And, that could take me like 30 minutes to sometimes I'll sit there and I'm like, when I'm ready to go to bed, I'll sit there and like put my head on the pillow and I just say sleep, 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 sleep until I'm asleep.
Oh, that's a useful tip. I like that one.
Yeah, but if people don't allow themselves to decompress from the day and they take themselves through an entire day and then scroll, 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 watch a TV show, they're going to end up going to bed at like 10, 12, 1, 2
Hmm.
until your body like is literally like, okay, we're done. We're shutting off. Like you
Yeah,
need to stop. Because that sleep, I mean, during sleep, your body's recovering, it's healing, it's processing. It depends on the sleep cycles. Now, you probably have to bring in a speech specialist, I mean a sleep specialist, to kind of cover all the stages, but that would be cool to listen to.
for
But
sure. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's something that affects everybody. That's it.
yeah.
Okay. So let's say you have a client and they've taken your advice and they've gotten the sleep on track
Mhm.
and they're about to start. They've joined the gym. They're going to start going next week, but they're scared. Are you
Mhm.
going to tackle mindset now with them, or are you going to kind of let them go, make their mistakes and learn from it? Or is the next stage after sleep, you immediately go into kind of the mind?
So touching on sleep, that just reminded me. I had this one client who we started working together, and we had one session on Monday, and then it was Thursday, and she came in and she was like, Evelyn, I'm down 4 pounds. Like it was like
Wow.
something. She was like, can you lose weight just by sleeping? I'm like, yes, you can.
Yes. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
your body's processing everything, it's healing, it's getting rid of toxins, everything. So wanted to quickly touch on that. So once you kind of start feeling better, you get that momentum that it's exciting because you've kind of figured this out yourself. You've realized that you need a good sleep routine. So you're taking that like autonomy, you're taking control of your health. So from there, I take that momentum and I'm like, let's keep going. I call it playing. I'm like, let's keep playing. So now our next goals are to, yeah, if you're nervous about going to the gym, you need to go to the gym. Put yourself in that situation. And like me being someone who did gymnastics, I've always been fit, sporty, athletic. I haven't always looked fit. Like again, I had my fair share of gaining weight, but I went to the commercial gym, so the
Mhm.
big like Gold's Gym a year ago for the first time out of years because I've always been a part of like little boutiques or playing sports or CrossFit or something like that. So I went in there and I had that pit of like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, like people are watching me, like where do I start? Like what equipment do I use? Like XYZ. So I know that feeling of like, like, oh my God,
Yeah.
this is so uncomfortable. Now it's almost like an accountability feeling of like,
Mm.
it's like a big jungle, it's like at a jungle gym for adults. You're like
For
kind of
real. Yeah.
you're like learning the ways of the world in this facility where you think everyone's looking at you and maybe they are depending on what you're wearing too, you know, you got those girls that are showing up like
Yeah.
clothed and then
The
the
full sets of the guys in those tank tops that are like,
yeah,
"That's not a tank top, sir."
I call it the nipple tease where they're like
Yeah.
you're like, got it. I get your point. I see what you're doing. So yeah, like so then I kind of go there. I'm fully clothed because I know like a purpose, but there is like that pressure of like people are looking at you and kind of watching you because they're curious. So
Mhm.
it's normal to feel that way. It's normal to kind of like look around to see what other people are doing because that's what happens when you're in a giant facility with 50 other people there. You're
Yeah.
gonna be looking around and kind of like curious and figuring that out. So, all to say is people that come to me and they're figured out their sleep, but they're still anxious about going to the gym, is I would recommend going to the gym. And
Okay.
whether you even do a workout, it doesn't matter. It's your first step of going outside your comfort zone and do something that is comfortable. And like
Yes.
walk on the treadmill. Do you know how to press a, you just press
Yeah.
the start button, you can tweak with some of the pace, some of the incline, and just get used to being like, okay, this is my first step. Boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom, boom. And
I would
listen,
love, oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, and find your perfect little podcast like
That's
this.
right. Yes. One tip I would love to share. Now, I'm obviously not an expert, but I started my kind of gym health and fitness journey about a year and a half, 2 years ago. And a tip that I got from a coach, which I still use to this day, if I go to a different gym or whatever it is, and I have that nervous feeling, is you go to the gym, get on the stairs, get on the treadmill. They put the cardio machines at the back. So
Yeah,
you're almost up on your little perch and you can just spend 30 minutes on a slow pace, look at everyone,
yeah,
watch see what somebody does. If you see somebody that you say, "Oh, I like their outfit. I like how their physique looks." Let's see what they do for 10 minutes and maybe go over and copy them. You can kind of I like to do that, the whole like nobody's looking at you at the gym. They're always just following their own thing. I'm like, I'm looking at you. I'm up on the stairs and I'm looking at everyone.
exactly.
But that's the way to do it. You go in, you get there, and like you said, slow pace, press the button. Oh, that's your responsibilities. Done. Now you're just walking. And
Yeah,
you can just look around and get used to it. So
yeah.
that's a really, really good tip for if you are nervous to get into the gym. As you said, the solution is to get into the gym.
Yeah, and get used to just the baby steps of being uncomfortable and then to your point of recognizing you are looking around and other people are looking around, so it's okay because everyone's learning from each other. And
Hmm.
it's almost flattering. I had a guy yesterday that came up to me when I was doing like one of my oblique ab exercises, and I'd say my exercises are now different because I found my own flavor and like found what works and what feels effective. So I love my workouts and I feel comfortable doing them. I don't care if someone is looking at me being like, what the heck is she doing? Because at the end of the day, like when I'm walking around, I'm like, you know what? I'm,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got exactly what I'm working.
Results are in. You
Yeah,
can
like
see them.
yeah, I'm good. But he came up to me and he was like, "Hey," and I had my headphones in and he actually scared me. I was like, "Whoa!" He was like, "I'm so sorry." He was like, "But your exercise looks like pretty effective," and he's like starts questioning me and asking me. And I think some people, they would get clamped up and be like weird about that. But for me, I'm like, no, like I'm an open book. So I do it like this because da, 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 and I just go on a tangent. And he's like sitting there, and at that point I'm like, okay, am I talking too much? I don't know. But at least you know. And at the end he was like, thank you so much. Like I'll have to try that. I really appreciate it. And it's like, well, again, like little interactions like that, like I feel good about myself, what I was doing. And
Hmm.
he feels, I'm sure, kind of like, he's like, oh, now I have something new. And so I think if we kind of approach the gym a little bit more friendly too, and just be like, everyone's there to learn. And
Everyone's there for the same reason, and that's something that's really beautiful about the gym. You can, in a time where like we're all like there's a kind of a loneliness epidemic right now, especially in the US, and the gym kind of can bring that community aspect out
yeah,
because it's just a bunch of adults all there for the exact same reason. So
yeah,
we all are kind of supportive. If somebody's going really hard, you look at them and you say, "Fuck, fair play to you." Like you don't, nobody's looking and being like, "Oh, calm down, guy." You're like, "Wow, like this person has figured something out," and I'm into it. So it is a nice place to, like you said, I know it made me like not, it's a funny thing to say, but there is an aspect of flattery when somebody's looking at your workout because you're like, yeah, I'm doing this ab routine. Look at me go.
yeah. And then to walk away and be like, and I've got like the abs to feel it and show it.
To
I'm
back
telling
it up.
you, it's
Yeah,
working. Yeah.
that is amazing. Hey everyone, Chelsea here. I would love to take a moment to introduce you to our app, Yoga Plus. You will gain access to an incredible collection of videos led by top instructors in yoga, fitness, nutrition, and so much more. Download our Yoga Plus app today and get a free 14-day trial.